I want to start this video by saying that there is probably nothing in my power to give Coraline Jones the justice that she needs, deserves. Leica Studios created a supernatural masterpiece, a worldwide phenomenon. They deserve all the love in the world, and I know I can never do it correctly, but I'm just going to try. This is my stab in the dark. This is me turning my back on perfection and saying that I'm just going to give it a shot and throw my ring in the hat, okay? Okay, so in this video, I'm making a character analysis on Coraline Jones. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's another character you want me to make a video on, make sure to comment down below. I'm going to try my hardest and my best. Please give me grace. And yeah, let's get started. So Coraline Jones is the protagonist of the 2009 animated film Coraline. Now, she is a deeply complex and dynamic character. I absolutely love her. I'm a huge fan. I've watched this movie multiple times. And yeah, I want to do justice right now. Also, I just want to say, even though I know it's considered like an animated film, I feel like it's considered claymation, so they say it's like a claymation animated film, whatever. I just know clay was used in stop motion, so I'm going to say claymation, okay? Now, throughout this film, we see her journey from a curious, almost selfish, and adventurous child to someone who really understands the value of family, love, and we see her as this brave character at the core of her story. At the start of the film, Coraline is just a typical child, really. She has a thirst for her parents' attention. They move to this new home. Both of her parents are overworked, underpaid. They're tired. She doesn't have any siblings. You know what I mean? You almost see her as this child who's just kind of left alone a lot. Like a lot of times she finds herself bored and frustrated by her parents' lack of just paying attention to her or doing things with her. I know her and her mom went to the store together, but that was just to buy gloves and things like that. For the most part, we see that she's a very adventurous child, right? She goes outside, you know what I mean? She's playing with the mud. She's meeting people. Like, she wants to be outside. She's going around the house looking for stuff to do. And then that's when she obviously will find that key and find that door. But we see that she is very adventurous to her desire for attention and love. So at the beginning of the film, like I just spoke about, Coraline clearly feels neglected by her parents, who are very preoccupied with work and they're busy. This neglect fuels her frustration, making her vulnerable to the other mother. You know, this is a child who maybe if she was getting the attention and, you know, if she has siblings to play with or, you know, things like that going on, she probably wouldn't have been such an easy target in the first place. But here we are, regardless. The other mother basically offers Coraline everything that she's missing right now. Attention, love, indulgence, you know, somebody to cook for her and play with her, you know, play music for her. Like, you know what I mean? The other mother in the other world kind of offer up on a silver platter everything that she wants. She wants her family back. She wants, you know, dinners at the table and breakfast together and, you know, all of these, you know, moments that, you know, she's very vulnerable right now. She wants that. She needs it. And the other mother is offering that perfection. You know what I mean? Offering her that. Even though the other mother is dangerous and pretty hollow, she's offering this child what she's missing. The other mother and dad, they offer her up love, affection, attention, praise. It's like she's getting all of it. And what child wouldn't want that, right? And this kind of sets Coraline up for her realizing true love isn't always perfect or easy, but it's genuine, right? It kind of sets her up to realize, you know, that her parents, granted, they suck in some aspects severely, but they're real and it's genuine love. You know what I mean? It's not somebody trying to take something from her or get something from her, but real love. 3, I want to talk about her bravery and resilience. As the story continues, Coraline transforms from a child seeking comfort to a brave, determined individual willing to face the most terrifying of obstacles. When Coraline realizes what the other world is and that, the other world is dangerous, she doesn't just run away. And instead she confronts it almost head on. Like, she is incredibly strong, even trying to help the other kids. She could have easily just, I guess, turned her back and let things go, but she didn't. She's such a brave child. I think most people, she obviously had to go back because her parents were gone, right? Which that's a whole nother, as we know, Coraline is a thread from a sweater that keeps on giving. There's never a moment where we feel like we know everything. Some people argue that Coraline never even made it to the real world, that she's still in the other world. The situation with her parents being in that snow globe, I don't even know what that means, but so this video is not me talking about possible lore for the movie, so I'm not going to focus on that. I'm mainly just focusing on Coraline's story, right? But for Coraline, for her parents, she went back, you know what I mean? She's going to go fight for them. Also, granted, it probably would be more interesting if I did a video on her mother or the Bell Dam, but I'm not going to because that's just a little too hard for me, guys, okay? But essentially, Coraline goes back into the other world to save her parents despite knowing the dangers, shows how strong she is as a character. And she shouldn't have to be, right? I think at a base we know that Coraline is being neglected by her parents. That's very obvious. By her mother and father, she is being neglected. And some would say it's a form of abuse. I'm not here to argue about that. I'm just saying that I think it's pretty obvious that that's what's going on. But I want to keep this a little lighthearted because it's just a character analysis. So I don't want to maybe change the conversation from focusing on Coraline to the elements around her. I mainly want to focus on her and how she's reacting to the situations that she's in. Number 4, she is incredibly independent and resourceful. Coraline's ability to outwit the other mother and solve problems on her own really showed that resourcefulness. It showed the way she approached challenges, whether finding her parents or rescuing the ghost children, shows how strategic and clever she really is. Rather than waiting for someone to save her, she relies on her own wit and determination. Now, mind you, Coraline's only 11, so she shouldn't really have to do all of this, but that just shows how strong she is. Seeing the stone and, her sharp mind, like, it just shows that she's a real problem solver, right? And she's a real go-getter. She's very independent, whether it's because she's had to be by being in, and I think maybe we could argue that maybe she's had to be independent because she is an only child and because she is getting neglected from her parents, that she's had to take care of herself like many other children who are neglected in that way. Sometimes we don't really look at neglect as abuse or, bad behavior, but that's really what's happening. And it's really not nice, actually. And now 5, her emotional growth and maturity. Like, I think it's pretty obvious. Coraline, when she first started, she was really annoyed with her parents and, really annoyed with the life that she has. And as we get further into the story and all the way to the end, Coraline has now been shown, granted through horrible circumstances, but she's now kind of showing that she appreciates the reality that she has. Yes, it is not perfect and her parents aren't perfect, and there's so many things that she can want, but her reality, she accepts her reality. And I think that shows emotional growth and maturity, because not just for 11-year-olds, but for adults too, there's many times in life where you may not be where you want to be. You may want to be in another world. You may want something else. But reality is, you have to accept the world that you do live in. You have to accept the reality that you are in, just to grow and have that peace and further, peace for yourself and your mind and your life. In conclusion, Coraline Jones is more than just a brave protagonist. She is a symbol of childhood growth. She's a symbol of learning that the world isn't perfect and neither are the people in it. Her journey of curiosity, vulnerability, and bravery resonates so deeply with a lot of people. She evolves from a child looking for an escape into an empowered individual who embraces reality, imperfections, and all. Through her resourcefulness, bravery, emotional maturity, she emerges as a powerful character who inspires courage and independence. Coraline is such an interesting character, and I don't want to adultify her too much or make her sound too adult. She's a child, ultimately, and I know this is a fictional story, but regardless, she has gone through so much in this story that her parents probably would never understand. She's had to make really tough choices that even grown adults probably would falter to. She is so brave and so strong, and I don't know, I think they just did a great job. They definitely had a hit on their hands. I cannot wait to see what other things they come out with. I know we'll probably never get a Coraline 2 or, something like that, even though I would love it. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.